Two episodes, one review. Let's go. Yo, what is up, Crocs and Clan members, Poke fans, and others who will stump upon this video? I'm SoresanCrockxen, and today, well, right now, technically, this is the third video that I'm gonna upload today. Oh my goodness, I've done so many reviews today because Pokemon decided to have a marathon today. Ridiculous, I know. So earlier this morning, I posted the episode review for the premiere of Season 2. A little while ago, I uploaded the second Mega Evolution special. I think it was like almost 2 hours ago. No, it was like an hour ago. Anyways, and now you have this, which is essentially the last two episodes that were going to be aired today, which is the Hawlucha episode and the unaired, or the previously unaired Scrub episode. So it's going to be, I'm going to kind of just skim through a lot of it because I don't want this review to be like 50 billion hours long. And like the Hawlucha one was a lot more special for me than the Scrub one, so we're gonna do it like that. So the Scrub episode, which that's the one I'm gonna talk about first because it's technically the earlier one. The Scrub episode was it felt weird, honestly, to watch it after so long, especially because I was marathoning Pokemon, so I was watching stuff from now. And I've been watching stuff from around this time, and then all of a sudden they start talking about Ash going to get against Grant. It was really weird. It was really awkward. But at least the only thing I got from this episode, besides the fact that we got to see Scrub and Dragagi, which is cool, is we finally understood how Ash came up with his technique for beating Grant, because before that, we had no idea how the heck he came up with the idea of climbing on rocks. It was all about double teaming and stuff like that. This episode is literally what cemented how Ash came up with that tactic, because at the end of the episode, Brokey saves a Scrub while like stuff is being sucked into a whirlpool. There's a bunch of debris in the water, and Froakie ends up like jumping from one debris to the other to get to where they're at. And that's where he comes up with the idea of using the rocks as a climbing thing. Which, I mean, it would have been nice to know that ahead of time, but, we're going to deal with it now anyways. There's really nothing else to take out of that episode except for that. It was okay. It was an okay episode. It was, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But as for the Hawlucha episode, this was probably the last time we're ever going to get a Hawlucha-centered episode. At least until he maybe learns a new move or something, because I don't freaking know, man. This whole Hawlucha thing pisses me off, man. They pushed him to be like this big thing, and then he's just a nothing now. I mean, obviously, we're not anywhere near the fourth gym in like the English dub version, but I mean, no, we're like a good 10 episodes away. But the point is, I saw stuff about that. I read something about that. And Hawlucha was just wrecked. And I got pissed. But this episode was really cool because, I mean, it really went against what I thought it was. Because originally, when I looked up stuff, or like when they first announced this episode, I thought it was going to be like a Hawlucha versus Hawlucha in a wrestling match type of thing to show off each other. I didn't think that it was all part of a play. So I like the fact that they were able to like trick people into doing that. I didn't see anything about it other than that. But just from that side alone, like I got pumped because I thought it was just gonna be a typical like going to the roots of, like, it would have been cool too, because then you would touch on the wrestling side of Hawlucha's design. But they took their own spin on it. And I liked it because they still showed a wrestling match. It just wasn't like an actual, like, real wrestling match. It was all part of a play, and the wrestling arena was all in the imagination of both Hawluchas. So it still touched on it, but it did in like this subtle way, and I loved it about that. So essentially, what happens in the episode is, well, there's a shiny Hawlucha looks like it's attacking a Snubbull, and Ash decides to save it, and a poor Gallade, which is all part of a play. Gallade was supposed to be the hero, the shining hero. Shiny Hawlucha, which is Dark Hawlucha in there, was the villain, and then Snubbull was the princess. And because of Ash intervening in the whole thing, Gallade ends up getting hurt, and he can't perform. So Bonnie, I'm gonna keep saying this. Bonnie is the best character in X and Y. She comes up with the idea of having Ash's Halucha participate and take over the role of the hero. Nobody else. Bonnie did. Okay, that just goes to show you that Bonnie is she's where it's at. She's where it's at. Okay, Bonnie's the coolest one. I don't care what everybody has to say. She is amazing. Oh my goodness, why can't she get a? Why, then why? She's not even important. Why is she getting pushed so much? Anyway, so the problem with Halucha though is that because he has this pride, the sense of pride, he can't act. Or I mean, he can. Like, I mean, if you really anybody can act, to be quite honest, like if you really put the time and effort into it and actually practice, anybody can be an actor. But the point is, Halucha didn't know it was what is. It's not something it knows, right? It's not something it's ever dwelled in. So it feels weird to be told you have to get hit, you got to get thrown off the stage, you got to feel like you're losing. It was a concept that he had never even thought of, so he was confused. And then when he retaliated against Dark Halucha, well, since it wasn't part of the script, he thought it was a battle. Like, he got confused when people were like, no, you gotta get thrown into the wall. And like, he ended up, like, Ash was like, okay, just so we can keep practicing, run to the wall, hit the wall, bounce back, and then let Dark Halucha do the rest. He went to the wall, he bounced back, and then I jump kicked Dark Halucha in the face. And I was like, bruh, can we calm down, please? It's all played. Like, he was getting all into it too. And Dark Halucha gets pissed and like walks off the stage and like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do here? And then we get to see some backstory, because apparently, which I hope this is something they touch in the future to at least give Halucha some sense of accomplishment in this series. Dark Halucha was essentially a fighting Pokemon champion. Like, there was an actual thing where it was like a tournament and Halucha was the top until an unfortunate incident where he got hurt. Which, like I said, it kind of ties back to the real life. If a wrestler gets really injured, the chances of them ever coming back is really slim. That's what ends up happening. Dark Halucha cannot compete anymore in a serious battle because of injury. So the person that owns, I don't know if he owns Halucha, but the director and basically switched him over. He was the manager of Dark Halucha in the tournament. He took him from that type of fighting style to a drama play style, of fighting where you don't strain the body so much and it's a lot simpler. And Dark Halucha took a liking to that, and now it's passionate about that. So when something goes wrong, it gets upset. So he has pride as an actor. Halucha has a pride as a battler. So there's two conflicting prides going on. They end up working things out, right? They do practice a little bit more. Halucha is a nervous wreck, though, because he doesn't work and plays. He's not used to this. So everybody's like kind of worried that something bad's gonna happen with Halucha because it's his first time. And then Team Rocket shows up, does a whole spiel and really annoying stuff. Actually, before we touch on that, I just want to mention, because this was funny and I laughed at it. While they were doing the rehearsal stuff, Gallade was in the seats, like, watching, and every time Halucha messed up, he was like, "Oh my god, I could totally do this better," because Gallade couldn't do anything, like, he was injured, right? And he was just like, the faces that Gallade made were just so hilarious. He's like, "Oh my goodness gracious, like I could do this in my sleep. This man can't get it." But I just want to throw that out. But after Team Rocket's whole spiel, again, we have another Bonnie moment. Because after they do their motto and everything, Bonnie's like, "Oh my gosh, you're in the stupid motto." and I was just like, oh my god, look at this. That if I would have loved it more if she would have interrupted them in the middle of the motto. Cause like, can you just stop with the stupid motto? Gosh, I'm so sick and tired of it. And that would have made my day. But it's just, again, it's Bonnie. This is Bonnie. Why is she? I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm fanboying over Bonnie. I apologize, but that's just how it is. Um, but so that ends up happening, and then both Haluchas actually end up beating Team Rocket, which was fascinating. The audience was eating it up, because excited because they thought it was all part of the show. Uh, and then the actual part of the show, Halucha was freaking out, right? Because it's a play, and so he was nervous. But then the way it works out is that Dark Halucha kind of helps him out, and then they both. That's when we get this imaginary like wrestling ring going on, because it's like both of them are in the ring fighting each other, but they're really in the audience, and you hear people chanting for Halucha, which is called Shiny Halucha in the play, and you have people going for like Dark Halucha, and you just hear this emotion, like people are getting invested in this because they can see it, and the manager was like, oh my goodness, I've never seen Dark Halucha so excited, and because they were going off script, like they weren't following the script. Ash and the game were concerned that they were gonna mess it up, and they're like, should we stop them? And they're like, no, let them do this thing, because it was that epic. And then they were like, Dark Halucha was excited, having fun. Halucha was just being awesome, and he was in his comfort zone because it's a battle. And so you just saw them doing all this crazy stuff, like Halucha like doing a leg, like he grabbed Dark Halucha with his legs over his head and like slammed him to the ground, and you just saw them clashing, and it was amazing. And like they were just all into it. And then like the final thing is like you see like in the imagination you see Dark Halucha like jump off the ropes and hit Halucha, and then you see Halucha like bounce from the wall or like the other like ropes and like high jump kicks, or well, not really a high jump kick, but like he like kneed him in the head, and then just saw all this stuff, and it was amazing. And then like they do like they both come back to like reality, or like that's what we see, and like they turn around and it's like the last one, and like they both clash in midair, and you just see people like, oh my gosh, and then Halucha lands on one side and Dark Halucha lands on the other, and Dark Halucha falls, and then Halucha's like, yeah, and then people like, yeah. And then Halucha like picks up Dark Halucha because they did it, they made it work, and it was amazing, and everybody was just super duper excited, and I was stoked, I was having fun, I was, and they also like they didn't do this in the previous like the premiere episode, but Who's That Pokemon is still here, and that's okay. That nostalgia. That's actually why I like it. I know that I saw one of the comments in the premiere video that the person doesn't like the Who's That Pokemon. I just feel like it's for nostalgic purposes. Like it's not like I love the thing, but I like the fact that I feel like I'm a little kid again watching Pokemon in my living room when I was like 5 or something like that. But anyways, that's basically it. I also want to touch a little bit on the opening because I didn't do that in the premiere review. I like the song. I don't like the fact that they're doing the second opening of the Japanese version because we're way past that already. Like they need to just get rid of that opening altogether. They can keep the song, but try to use the footage from the new opening because we're kind of past what happens in that opening. Like that opening is really far back. Like it's been like 10 episodes since the last thing that they even show in the opening. So maybe change that up for the next one. I don't know. You have like 2 weeks. I think the next episode doesn't come out next week. It comes out after that. So you have some time. Fix the opening. Because I really don't like it. I like the song. Keep the song, but change the opening itself. But yeah, that's going to be it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Links to the episodes in the description box below, as I always do with these videos. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on the episodes. How did you feel about the marathon? Because it's a really long marathon. I can't even believe they did it, but they did it. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I'm SoresanCrockxen, and I'll see you guys in future videos.